We're getting ready to start a pretty intense leveling project inside of a really nice home here in Scottsdale. There was carpet in this room, and the homeowners could feel something through their carpet, and lo and behold, if we can get down here and give you a little bit of a perspective of what's going on, that's about 1.5 inches roughly, a little bit too high from the slab right here. So we're going to come in here and pull out all the tack strip, use the DustRam to pull out all the tack strip dust free. We're going to pull all the baseboards. We're going to use the DustRam to remove a lot of this plaster Paris. We're going to open up these joints and we're going to bond them back together with the road wear concrete mender right along through here, and also this crack right here. Then we're going to bring this entire floor up and we're going to flatten it to perfectly flat everywhere, 1/16 of an inch everywhere, be perfectly flat. And then they'll go back down with carpet. However, it would be suitable for wood or a really giant, stone or porcelain at that point. But this is what we're starting with right here. All right, well, this is day 2. Yesterday we went through and profiled all the concrete, which basically means that we took the very top layer of the concrete off, so we exposed it for it to be raw, so that'll accept the primer and the leveler that we're going to put back down. There was a crack right here. It's pretty much gone now. We rebonded it back together with road wear, and there was also kind of a hump right there. We needed to bring this part of the area down. You can kind of see the rocks down in here and what we've got going here. But this part was a little bit too high. You see, we have to preserve the transition over here. There's a threshold over there, and we have to make sure that the leveler doesn't exceed a certain point, so as it will allow future carpet, wood, or ceramic to go in and still have the doors clear. So we had to do some tricky things with this concrete in order to, once it's flattened, it'll be totally flat, but yet that transition over there will still be preserved for what we want it to be, and yet we'll eliminate all the other low spots around there. See if I can do kind of a close-up. I don't know if it's going to focus real well, but right through here is the remnants of that crack, and you can barely see it once we've done that. We also bonded this all the way through here, and we used just about 1 gallon of the road wear concrete mender just doing this one particular repair, because we wanted to make sure that it was quite bonded quite well. And so today we're going to be using the Mapei Ultraplan 1 Plus leveler and the Primer L. Here's something interesting. I don't know if you can tell, but you see that existing riser right through there? if you can notice, you can see how much taller it is there than it is the middle. Well, that just kind of shows what the tile installers had to cope with when they were putting this tile floor down originally. When we get done with this, it's going to be it'll look a lot more uniform and even along there. So that's it for the second day that we're getting started right now. So what the boys are doing right now, this is the Mapei Primer L that's going down over this newly profiled concrete. This is going to make give it a great bond for the Ultraplan 1 Plus from Mapei. This concrete is so hard, it's only going to require one coat. Out here in Arizona, a lot of times the concrete is so soft, it takes at least 2 coats of primer to adequately, prime the concrete. So we'll do this over the entire floor, and then we'll let it dry, and then the Mapei the Mapei Ultraplan 1 Plus will go down over the top of that. And you'll see us setting up our screeds here after a while. All right, well, we've got the screeds all set up. We're getting ready to come back and do our first pour. And give you an idea of what's happening here. Let's see if I can kind of do this here. If you can see that spot right over there, that's about 1 inch low right there. And as it comes over this way, you can see that it comes right over here, touches right on that high spot there, which is actually grade. That's actually grade. And then it continues on over here. And I'm going to set that down for a second. And to put this into perspective, see if I can do this without wiggling. Here's my hand. Check that out. So this is about 1.25 inches right here low. And then along through here, you'll also see how low all this is through here. All through here. And right over here. So we've got about a good 1 inch to 1.25 inches pour all through here that we're going to be doing. So when we're done, this will be a really super flat floor. So you're looking at about 18 bags down on the floor right here as of this moment. Just got to do it a little bit at a time. Check it out. Well, we're getting ready to come back from the other direction now and fill in. We've already put down close to
6.
Okay, about 42 bags have already went down so far in all this area that you're seeing right through here. And so you can still see this is what we've got going right here. And that's a good 1.1 inches down there, and it tapers off to nothing, and then it goes back the other direction. But if you notice the tops of those screeds, see the top of the screeds, how closely they hit the height of the existing tile? Well, when this is all done, it should have just about the same reveal all the way along those risers to make it a lot better, because before it dropped away nearly about 1.25 inches on each side. So it was pretty far off to begin with. So the customer, I think, is just going to go back with carpet. So this is a pretty expensive repair to do just for carpet, but it would have been suitable and flat enough to go back with engineered wood, big gigantic travertine, 24 by 24, 36 by 36. So eventually, if they ever want to pull the carpet, they can or should be able to put down a hard surface floor right over this, and it'll be great for it. That's kind of what we got going so far. I predict that there's going to be somewhere between 50 and about 54 bags that's going to be going into this little project that you see in this room, if you can believe that. And that translates into right around 2,500 pounds roughly in there of leveler that went down. That's going to be going down into this room quite a bit. Yeah. Beautiful. Yes, it is. Looks good. You know, the amazing thing is you know, all these bags are leveled, you know, labeled as self-leveling and stuff like that. And you know, part of that is kind of true, but this is more like pancake batter, and it only flows so far. And so, you know, I get a lot of homeowners that call me up. They tried to do their own leveling, and they ended up pouring a big old hump in the floor. And then they call me because they want it ground. And then they're surprised to hear of how expensive it is to grind it down. Well, this stuff, when it dries, it's, I don't know, it's probably 3 or 4 times harder to grind than normal concrete. It's because of all the plasticizers and things that are in it that make it so hard to grind. So I really recommend homeowners do not try to level their own floors, especially something of this size, because you lack the experience and the equipment in order to do this. And this stuff is not, it's fairly expensive to buy. And if you put it down wrong, oh my gosh, you're going to have the biggest nightmare going on. See over here, this is how far we still have to, you know, to pour over here. This is a good dang near inch down there in that part right over there. This is all still an inch over here that we have to bring up. Actually over here it's even a little bit deeper. The concrete comes back up over here to about an inch. That over there is about a good 1.5 inches. So you got to really know what you're doing if you're going to mess around with this stuff. This kind of demonstrates why it's important to have professionals do this. All right, so this is now the 3rd day. We got all the leveler put down yesterday. It took 58 bags in this room, in this area, just to get it flat. And now that it's nice and hard, we're going to come back with our TPS machine from Total Polishing Systems. And we're going to blend all of the screed together, get rid of the drips and the runs and things like that happen when you screed. And probably in about a couple hours we'll all be done with it, and it'll be ready for the new floor. Well, this is, we're all done. With the TPS machine, we've done all the final cleaning, the vacuuming, and the floor is now all done. The final tally on this was 58 bags of leveler, and I believe it was about 7 hours of grinding with the large grinder, about 5 hours grinding with the small one, and we repaired about 28 or 29 linear feet of of crack in this concrete so we could bond it back together. And so what you're seeing here is the elevation of the concrete. This was the highest part of the concrete after we ground it, down to the point where we could blend the rest of this in with the leveler. You can kind of see the outline of where the crack was at. But this is the only section right here of the old concrete that you can actually see. The rest of it fell away and it was considerably low. So it took about 2.5 days to do this project right here. So I'm pretty thrilled with it. And we did this all with the DustRam system for leveling. It was super dust free. The customer was even commenting on how incredibly clean it was. They put some plastic up here before we got here, and there's not even any dust laying on the plastic because they weren't sure what to expect, but the plastic wasn't even necessary. But you can see all in their kitchen. Still nice and clean. Everything's all clean. So if you need really serious professional flattening in your house and you live in it, the DustRam system for flattening is the only way to go. Thanks for listening.